Okay, guys, this is recording. I'm not sure what's going on. So I'm just going to share my screen and get this up for you guys. So hang tight. Sorry. Should have had this ready for you. It's not going to be. Okay, so this will be the prep phase video.
Everybody, welcome to How to Recruit 20 People in 30 Days Intensive Boot Camp. I'm excited to be able to share this experience with all of you. This week, we're going to start the thing off with preparation part 1. Let's go. Eric Worre here. Welcome to the 20 and 30 Intensive Boot Camp. I am excited for you. I am fired up for you. This is the first of 10 training sessions that we're going to do together to guide you step by step in your quest to recruit 20 people in 30 days at some point during this process. Now, this is going to happen over the course of 10 weeks. So you can pick the time. I mean, we're going to kind of do it together. In the middle of this program, I have 2 weeks set aside for preparation, 2 weeks set aside for pre-launch, 30 days set aside for the 20 and 30, and then 7 days, 1 week set aside for what do you do now? What do you do with the existing group? So that's how it's divided up. If you go along with this, I think you'll get a little bit more benefit. But if that doesn't 100% fit with your schedule, what's going on with your business, what's going on with your company, what's going on with your life, just know that you can take this process and you can plug it in whenever it does work. The other added benefit is all of this is being recorded for you. So you can utilize it again. You could, later this year, decide you want to go through it and just kind of, I would encourage you to kind of follow this process, because I learned a lot over the course of the last 30 years as far as what works. Like if you skip the preparation phase as an example, which we're going to start today, I think you really hurt your chances of success. I mean, you could still succeed, of course, but the preparation phase is really important. It's important for your family health. It's important for your the dynamics of your organization. The pre-launch phase. Sorry, I got a tickle in my throat. The pre-launch phase is really important. This whisper campaign idea that I'm going to be sharing with you starting on week 3. That's when you'll be able to kind of kick into the pre-launch, and your recruiting can actually start before the 20 and 30 kicks in. Really, really important. So I know you're excited. I have a lot of people who I talk to about this. They say, I'm doing 20 and 30 starting tomorrow. You can, but I think this is more efficient. So I want to congratulate you for being involved. I want to encourage you to be very active inside of this group, inside of this community. Make sure that you're checking in every day, making sure that you're watching the videos when we put them up, make sure that you're engaging in the Q&A, make sure that you are documenting the process of how you are going through this, because think about it this way. What if you turned this experience into a training? That when you're done with this and you've recruited 20 people, you could go train step by step how you did it. Would that be valuable to the 20 people that you're bringing in? Would that be valuable to your existing team, valuable to your company? So you're not just doing this to get the 20 and 30. You're doing this to be a good example. You're doing this to become a better leader. You're doing this to document the process. You're doing this for a lot of different reasons. Yours, organizational, reputational, lots of different reasons, okay? So first thing I want to let you know is there are different downloads that are going to be very, very valuable to you. One is this How to Recruit 20 People in 30 Days workbook. Make sure that you download that. And I'm driving my team crazy because we started with the existing workbook that we've done with the 2030 course that we've sold for many, many years. And now I've changed this into 10 weeks and changed it into a bunch of different structures. So they're trying to keep up with that workbook as quick as they can. But that workbook's going to be very helpful to you. Number 2 is How to Recruit 20 People in 30 Days list builder, which we're going to talk about today, building your prospect list. And number 3 is the How to Recruit 20 People in 30 Days calendar. This will help you kind of manage your time and manage your schedule, okay? So make sure you have those. I'm going to be referencing those. We're going to be going through those. They're going to become important tools for you. So, preparation, part 1. First thing I need you to understand as we're going into recruiting 20 people is it's a numbers game. So we have to go through some numbers in order to be able to achieve the 20. You're not going to be able to just talk to 20 people and 20 people are going to sign up. I mean, that might happen. It never happened to me. It probably happened to some powerful, influential people. Maybe you're that. I don't know. But usually it takes a significant amount of conversations, a significant amount of interaction with a bigger group of people. Whether it's face-to-face or online, you're going to need to talk to a lot of people in order to be able to get particular results. Understand this, if you do it slow, let's say you're going to recruit 20 people in 30 months versus 30 days, okay? 20 people. If you do it in 30 months, let's say 2 out of 10 people, you do a full presentation for somebody. Here's ABC, here's my whole opportunity. And you get 20% of people to sign up as a distributor, which is typical, something like that. But forget the numbers, it kind of doesn't matter. It'll adjust this a little bit. That would equal 10 presentations. Well, let's say you get 1 out of 10. Okay, I'll even be more conservative. 10 presentations equals 1 sign up, 1 distributor, 1 of these 20. If you do this slow and steady, 10 presentations equals 1. So if you got to get 20, how many presentations do you need to do? 200 to get 20, right? 200 presentations. Now, if you're going to do 200 presentations, how many appointments do you need to set up? Whether this is Zoom, Skype, face-to-face, you're going to have to do more than the 200. Call it, this is 200 presentations, P for presentations. They call it 250 appointments. Something like that, because 50 people will no-show you. So in order to do that, you're going to need to reach out to approximately 500 prospects. 500 prospects, send them a text message, send them a direct message, send them a WhatsApp message, a Facebook Messenger message, a direct message on Instagram, whatever. 500 to schedule 250 appointments so they see what you have. You're going to get 200 of those to show up. You get 1 out of 10, you're going to get your 20. Make sense? Now, if you do it faster, you don't need to do as many. Because if you do it fast in 30 days, you're going to get probably 3 to 4 out of 10, but let's just be conservative. 10 equals 2. Do 10 presentations, so you're doing it fast. 10 presentations equals 2 new distributors. So what does that mean? You need to do 100 presentations to get 20. A little more reasonable. You maybe do 125 appointments. And maybe 250 or so prospects. This just shows you another reason why I'm glad you're doing this, because fast is better than slow, more effective than slow. You don't have to talk to as many people. It's easier to do, right? And if you're going to do this in 30 days, this is how many people you're going to have to reach out to. You're going to have to reach out to an average of what? Well, and I'm going to tell you about this. You're going to reach out to a bunch of these people at the very beginning. You know, this 250, you're going to reach out to in the first week of your 20 and 30, real hard, okay? So what does that work out to be? About 30 or 40 a day. You're going to be sending messages out. You can even do the 250 in one day if you want to start the conversation. You schedule these appointments, you're going to do the presentations, you're going to get the results. Okay, so with this, knowing this is a numbers game, okay, just accept the fact that 20 and 30 just has to do with how many people you're going to talk to. Now, I got to tell you something. When you get involved in network marketing, here's a hard truth. When you get involved in network marketing, some people are rewarded based upon the life that they lived prior to getting involved in network marketing, and some people are punished. If you've been a taker your whole life, If you've been a hermit your whole life, if you've been an introvert your whole life, if you've been hiding from people your whole life, you're probably not going to get rewarded the first day you join. That was me. When I first got started, I wasn't really a taker, but I was perceived to be one because I was so introverted. And I had to get outside of myself a little bit. So here's what I mean by that. Some people, if you've just been a big giver, you're the one who shows up for people in their time of need. You help them move their apartment. You're always there for them. You RSVP for everything. You send them cards and gifts, and you're just the best friend ever. Well, you're going to have to talk. You could to talk to less people in order for people to take a look. You don't have to talk to so many people because they're thankful that they have an opportunity to reciprocate the love and care that you've given. But if you haven't lived an amazing life, like I hadn't, I had to talk to more people. But here's what I want you to understand. You know what this number is? Whether 500, 250, or whatever, it's whatever you need to do. If it's 1,000, then it's 1,000. If it's 2,000, then it's 2,000. If you're so bad, you have to talk to 5 or 50 people for one person to sign up, well, then guess what? You got to figure out a way to talk to 1,000 people using all these platforms that we're going to teach you in order to get your 20. But that's just what you have to do. That's your price of entry. So don't get hung up on what the number should be. Just understand that it is a numbers game. You're going to have to do the numbers necessary in order to be able to get the 20. Okay? So first thing I want you to do, the first assignment that you have is to pull out this list builder, download this list builder, and this is designed to help you build your list. Okay? It'll walk you through who are these prospects that you're going to talk to about your business. Now, I'm not talking about adding customers right now. This is about adding team builders. And I'm not talking about adding people who are called distributors, but they're really just customers. I'm talking about people with an intention to grow their business, to build a business with you, okay? So if you have an address book, empty the address book. In here, and inside this list builder, you got places for all your candidates to go, all right? Your phone, all your social, your email list, any address books, any lists you have. If you empty all of your social, think about how many you got, and get it off of your social and get it onto paper for this campaign. If you need to print more pages, print more pages. Whatever you need to do. Anybody with a pulse that's over 18 and still alive that is not currently a distributor in your business needs to go on this list. Every single person, all your customers, everybody. If they said no before, if they said yes before, it doesn't matter. They need to go on the list. You're going to find a creative way to get in touch with them and let them know what you have to offer to start this year strong, okay? Start this whole business. And inside of here, you'll see a memory jogger list, members of your family list that you have, hobbies and buddies, people you play with, people you do business with, people who are professionals in your lives, people you've associated with in the past, who sold you stuff, individuals who have different attributes. Do you know anybody in particular professions? It's just designed to get you thinking. People in the military, who lives in a different country, who lives in a different state, who lives in a different city, who has red hair, who's the fattest person you know, who's bald, who has gray hair, who has blonde hair, whatever, doesn't matter. It's just all designed. It's like 1,000 different questions designed to help you create this list, okay? So in order to be able to start here, you need to know it's a numbers game, and you got to create your list. So that's number one. Well, number one is numbers game. Number two, create your list. Take the work and get that done. This is part of your first week in the process, is to get your list really going. Get it over with. Do it in the next 24 to 48 hours, 72 hours max. And I'm going to give you some steps to preparation. 1, commitment. Make a commitment that you're going to do this. Make a commitment that you're going to give 100%, really. You're in here, you made the decision, you spent the money. You're going to show the world what you've got. You're going to face your fear for this period of time through this program. You're going to ignore the emotional turmoil, the ups and downs, and all of the things that scream inside of your body to procrastinate. No matter what, you're going to follow through. Make the commitment. Now, I'm seeing this a lot, and it's funny because even inside our social media team, somebody, I used to do every single post myself, and now sometimes some other people do posts. And one of our team, they didn't know, because it's kind of trendy to talk about this right now. But they put up a post that I absolutely disagree with. And here's what they put up. Don't tell anybody what you're going to do. Just show them. And that is the language of losers. It really is. So I'm not going to tell anybody what I'm going to do. I'm just going to let my actions speak for me. That's somebody who's scared to death to be embarrassed of not doing it. This is not going to be you during this program. Okay? One of the first assignments that I have for each of you is I want you to tell the world that you're going to bring in 20 people in 30 days during this program. I want you to tell your upline. I want you to send a message to your company owner and let them know that you're going to do it. Tell your existing team that you're going to do it. Tell your family that you're going to do it. Go inside of your team pages inside of social and tell them you're going to do it. Make it impossible for you to not follow through without being embarrassed. This, let your actions speak is just such nonsense. You need to put your ass on the line. Force yourself to do what you wouldn't do. Because you know what? When I say I'm going to let my actions speak, when I don't feel like it that day, I can just hide. You say, well, I'm letting my actions speak. I don't need to worry about it. I'm not going to be embarrassed if I don't do it. I can wait till later. I can pick another time. You got all these excuses. But when you tell the world you're going to do it, now you're stuck. I want you stuck. I want you focused on making this happen. Okay? That's number one. Number two, sacrifice. In order to do this, you're going to have to make some sacrifices. And here's a question for you. What are you willing to sacrifice in order to make this happen? I want you to post this in the comments. What are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to give up a hobby? Are you willing to give up something that brings you joy for a 30-day period of time? Are you willing to be uncomfortable? What are you willing to do? Let's say there's a food that you love and you decide you're going to sacrifice that until you get your 20 done. I had a friend of mine who wanted to get to a top rank. You know what he did? He was stuck he was making good money, but he was stuck at this rank and he just couldn't find a way to motivate himself to do it. So he took the mattresses out of his house, put them in the garage, and decided he was not going to sleep on a mattress until he got to that top rank. He slept on the hard floor, not on an air mattress, not on on a hard floor, to remind himself that he did not belong at that level that he was at, and he belonged at the top level. You know what he did? After 30 days of sleeping on the floor, even when he checked into a hotel, he'd sleep on the floor. After 30 days of sleeping on the floor, of that sacrifice, he decided to do it. Some of you, it's a sacrifice of time. Some of you, it's a sacrifice of money. Some of you, it's a sacrifice of facing your fear, whatever it happens to be. I want you to post in the comments, what are you willing to do? Are you willing to sacrifice mindless scrolling on social media? Are you willing to sacrifice your favorite sports team? Are you willing to sacrifice the Super Bowl? Are you willing to sacrifice 30 days of television? Are you willing to sacrifice your identity in doing the laundry and mowing the lawn and all the other nonsense that you don't have to do and you can have some other kid do for you? You willing to sacrifice that? Are you willing to sacrifice a short little window of time of spending quality time with your family in order to be able to provide for them for a long period of time? Are you willing to sacrifice some of that? You got to decide, but it's important. What will you sacrifice? You need to write it down. Put it in the comments. What are you willing to sacrifice? And listen to me when I talk to you about comments. This is not a group for tourists. You sitting back, I'm watching when I feel like it. I don't need to post because I'm just watching. You need to get off your pompous ass and write down your goals and what you're willing to sacrifice. What is your commitment and what are you willing to sacrifice? Put it into the comments, or you're in the wrong group. You need to go do something else. But if you're too cool to even comment, I can guess what your results are going to be inside of this program. It's not going to be pretty. Told you this is going to be straight talk. Number 3. Ask others to sacrifice. It's really important that you negotiate with your family, with your loved ones, with your boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse, that you ask for their support, that you tell your kids, look, mommy or daddy is going to be around, but it's not going to be really available. I'm not going to have time to play. I'm not going to have time to do the things that we normally do because I'm involved in this special campaign for this special period of time, and I need your support in order to be able to go make that happen. So I need you to kick daddy in the butt and tell him to get back to work until he recruits his 20 people. I need you to kick mommy in the butt and tell her she's got to go recruit those 20 people before we can go play. You need to ask the people in your family to support you. And some of you don't have support at home. And you know why you don't have support? Because your family members are tired of watching you crawl through network marketing. And because you're crawling through network marketing, they're frustrated that you're not getting any results and you're taking up all this time and attention. But if you don't ask others, if you don't negotiate with your family and close friends, then you're going to get a lot of resentment while you're doing this 20 and 30. You have to tell them why you're doing it, and you need to ask for their help during this period of time and their support to keep you focused. Now, if you run a business, you need to ask other people in that business. Let's say you own the business. You need to ask other people to step up during this 20 and 30 so you can focus more energy there. Right? Anywhere you need help, you need to ask other people to help you and let them know why it's important. Okay? So ask for whether employees at your office, whatever it happens to be. You got to clear the decks. And like I said, negotiate with the important people in your life. Where do you anticipate resistance for doing this 20 and 30? Write it down and then go have a conversation with them so they understand what you're doing and why you're doing it. Number 5. Determine the time that you're willing to spend in order to be able to recruit these 20 people. I'm talking about during the actual 30. Okay, once we get through preparation, once we get through pre-launch, determine the actual hours. Now, if you're part-time, here's what I'm going to suggest to you. This is going to be harsh, but I want you to listen to me. If you're working a job someplace else, let's say 40 hours a week, my suggestion is you should be putting in a minimum of 40 additional hours to recruit your 20 and 30. Minimum. Okay? So if you're working, you know, say 9 to 5, you got to put in a couple hours before the 9. You got to pick your breaks and lunches and stuff to be able to be efficient during the work day. Let's say you can't get off work. Then you need to work that evening until you need to go to sleep. When I did my 20 and 30s, here's my schedule. Midnight, 8 a.m. to midnight. I work 16 hours a day, every day. Now, if you're full-time, I would suggest, or let's say somebody else has a job in the family providing you opportunity at home, I would suggest 16 hours a day. That's what I would suggest. 6 days a week. I think you need one day to kind of clear your head, you know, have time for your faith, whatever, connect with your family. But 6 days a week, 16 hours a day, it's 8 hours a day if you're part-time. And some of you, let's say you've got kids and you're the single mom or whatever. That's where you need to ask other people to sacrifice. You need to get some sitters lined up for your 20 and 30. You need to get some help. If mom or your grandma or Aunt Betty or whatever needs to come into town to help you for this 30 days, and then that's what you need to do. And you got to get creative in order to be able to make this stuff happen. But in setting the time you're willing to spend, you got to figure out how you're going to do it, and you got to get resourceful with asking people to help you sacrifice. Okay? So part-time, 6 to 8 hours a day, 6 days a week. Full-time, 10 to 16 hours a day. I would suggest 16. Start at 8 a.m., finish at midnight. That's what I did. If you're an earlier morning riser, you can go ahead and do that. But that's what worked for me, okay? Step 6. Clear the decks of all distractions. All possible distractions need to be eliminated from your life for this 30-day period of time. Now, everything I'm talking about here is things that you're doing, we're preparing for. I'm not asking you to do any of these things right now, but we're preparing for when you start your 20 and 30, when that launch day starts, okay? That you're committed, you've sacrificed, you've asked other people to sacrifice, you've negotiated with important people, you determine the time you're willing to spend, you hold that sacred, and you've cleared all the distractions of that time. Now, distractions can take many, many forms. What are the things that tend to distract you? Is it television? Is it social media not purposefully used? Is it hobbies? Is it cleaning the house? Is it negative people in your life? Whatever. You got to clear the decks of all distractions. And I got to tell you one thing. You know what the biggest distraction is going to be for some of you that have been involved in network marketing for a while? You know what the biggest distraction is? Your existing team. The team that you have right now. Any of you have kids? You ever know, like, when you need to make a phone call, the kids are over there playing and they're perfectly quiet. You pick up the phone, you start talking, and they start screaming. As soon as you pick up the phone, they start screaming. Like, what is going on? It just turns into mayhem. And as soon as you hang up the phone, they stop again. Then you pick up the phone, they start screaming again. Hang up the phone, they stop. Pick up the phone, screaming. Your team is like those kids. As soon as you start your 20 and 30, they're going to start screaming. I need your time. I need your attention. Let me do the 20 and 30 with you. Can you come do a home party for me? Will you do this soon? Will you do this call? What you need to tell them is, for this 30 days, I'm not available. I am bringing in the class of 2020. You know where the resources are. You know where to get the information. You know where to get all the stuff. I'm bringing in the class of 2020. I want to do it too. I want to do it too. Fine, but I'm not going to be holding your hand during this process. You could decide to bring in 20 and 30 and do that also. I wish you the best. Let's compare notes as we go through it. But I'm not going to be hand-holding and mentoring you through this process. I'm doing it now. This is me bringing in the class of 2020. They're saying, well, help me bring in the class of 2020. Isn't that going to be better for your organization? That's fine. You go do it. You got to clear this as a distraction. I'm telling you. More people have had their 20 and 30 experience hijacked from their existing teams than any other thing. So don't let your teams distract you, because as soon as you put that phone down, they're going to just be quiet. They're going to say, no, come do a home party. And as soon as you go over to do the home party, they're going to say, oh, nobody showed up, sorry. So just know, this is 30 years of experience saying that this is real. Number 7, if there are tools that you need, if there's product samples that you need to stock up to get 20 people, let's say you want everybody in those 20 to try the product or to see some tool that the company has or whatever, make sure that you are stocked up and prepared. Nothing's worse than somebody's charged out to do a 20, 30 and then they're not prepared. So make sure you're prepared with tools and products necessary to be able to grow. Number 8, pick a start date. Now we're all going to do this together if you want. Now you don't have to. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 week, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Yeah. Week 5 of this program is going to be the start date that we're going to be encouraging, but you decide what the start date's going to be for you. And make that sacred. Make that a decision that once that thing starts, the train has left the station and you're not going to change anything about it. Okay? So that's what I have for this week. What I want you to do, my assignments for you are real simple. I want you to understand that recruiting 20 is nothing magical, nothing mystical, nothing you need to be particularly talented for. Depending on your level of influence, your level of skill, you need to talk to either more people or less people, but you need to talk to enough people to bring in 20 people in that short period of time. In order to do that, you need to create your list. Make it as robust as you can. I'm going to teach you next week what to do with that list, okay, to get them ready for week 3, which is our pre-launch phase. And then you need to make a commitment that this is for real. You need to tell the world, tell your upline, tell your company owner, tell your spouse, tell your family. You got to determine what you're going to sacrifice. You got to ask other people to sacrifice if you need help. If you can't do this all on your own, you need to negotiate with your family. You need to determine the time that you're willing to spend. You need to clear all the distractions. You need to get all the tools and products, etc., necessary to be really ready when you launch. Then you need to pick a start date. Pick a start date and decide that it's going to happen. And once you pick it, you put that line in the sand. Don't let anything get in the way. That thing's ticking. And once that thing starts, it starts. It's game time. There's no negotiating with this once you just put that stake in the ground. Okay? So that's what I want you to do. And a lot of this different stuff, I want you to please put in the comments your feelings about all these different areas. And also, I'll be sending you different messages over the course of this next week. But just know that I'm really proud of you. And I'm excited. And you know, I want to hear about your successes as you're getting them. Some of you, just from making this decision, you're going to start recruiting people without even trying. And as you do, I want you to tell your story and tell everybody else in this group. I recruited 1, I recruited 2, I recruited 3, I got my 4th one, I got my 5th one, I got my 6th one. Can't wait to see those stories, okay? And they're going to happen. It's going to be happening everywhere. More recruiting in this group than probably per person than anywhere in network marketing around the world. So that's it. I will see you next week for preparation phase 2.
Okay, that's video 1. I am going to, let me get there you go. Video 1, I'm going to figure out how to upload this, and I'm going to stop the recording. Let's do that.